My feeling, very strong feeling, is that we're looking at a two-phase construction site in many of the so-called Inca stone monuments.
Beneath the towering walls of Sacsayhuamán, something impossible is hiding. The stonework doesn't stop at the ground, it goes down into a massive buried structure no one was meant to see. Sealed tunnels, magnetic anomalies, hidden chambers, and a deeper mystery the Incas didn't create. This discovery changes everything. The walls don't stop at the ground. Beneath the massive zigzag walls of Sacsayhuamán, excavators found something no one expected. The stonework continues straight downward, disappearing into the earth with the same impossible precision seen at the surface. Workers clearing erosion pits noticed that the polished polygonal blocks didn't end where the soil began. Instead, they formed a vertical extension, walls that were never meant to be visible. When ground-penetrating radar (GPR) teams arrived in the early 2000s, they uncovered deep voids, angled chambers, and long geometric corridors branching beneath the plateau. The scans revealed structures that looked planned, measured, and engineered. As one researcher said, "These shapes don't belong to nature." This discovery forced archaeologists to rethink everything. For decades, the fortress was believed to sit on carved bedrock, a simple foundation holding the famous walls. But the anomalies told another story, a hidden segment shaped with the same mastery as the upper levels, as though the builders expected the lower construction to matter just as much. Early explorers in the late 19th and early 20th centuries even wrote about sealed stone doors at the base of the fortress. Some entrances were reportedly closed by government order after several disappearances, including one disturbing case where a missing student's belongings were found near a collapsed underground passage. Whether these closures were for safety or secrecy remains unclear. The visuals underground hint at a structure that wasn't just built on the hill, it was built into it. The smooth-cut passages line up with the surface geometry, suggesting the entire complex was designed as a single system from top to bottom. One archaeologist described it as a superstructure, not a fortress, hinting that the Incas may have inherited more than they built. The deeper walls look older, weathered differently, and shaped with tools that don't match classic Inca signatures. These hidden layers introduce a possibility that makes researchers uneasy. The surface may only be the final chapter of a story carved thousands of years earlier. And if the buried walls reshape our view of the fortress, what comes next is even more unsettling. The tunnels that were never meant to be seen. The forbidden tunnels, a network that was never meant to be seen. Local legends in Cusco have whispered for centuries about a world beneath Sacsayhuamán. Tunnels that stretch beyond sight, chambers that echo without a source, and doors that swallow people. These stories were dismissed until radar imaging beneath the Muyuk Marca Tower revealed shafts cutting downward in perfectly straight lines and corridors running toward the city center. Some channels dropped several meters, too precise to be natural faults. Explorers who entered in the early 1900s described hallways fading into total darkness, carved with strange angles that made echoes twist unnaturally. One of the most famous cases happened in 1923, when a teenager entered a known opening near Chincana Grande, the Great Labyrinth. He never returned, and rescue teams later reported scorch marks and partial collapse deep inside the system. Chroniclers from the colonial period wrote that some passages connected Sacsayhuamán to Coricancha, more than 2 kilometers away. If true, this would mean deliberate citywide engineering beneath one of the most complex landscapes on Earth. These tunnels aren't random. They follow strategic pathways, linking ceremonial centers with what look like underground gathering rooms. The precision suggests planning far beyond what simple refuge tunnels would require. Some modern archaeologists suspect the Incas inherited these systems, adapting only the uppermost levels. The deeper layers show non-Inca tool signatures, older erosion patterns, and entrances positioned to avoid detection. One elder once told researchers, "The mountain is hollow. It remembers more than we do." That line reflects how locals see the tunnels, not as ruins, but as a system with purpose. Official excavations into these areas are rare, and many entrances have been sealed under state protection. The reason offered is safety, but the silence surrounding early disappearances and sudden closures leaves room for doubt. And just when researchers tried to map these corridors, something stranger happened. Tools began failing, as if the underground was fighting back. Magnetic fields that shouldn't exist. The underground interference. When GPR teams attempted deeper scans near Muyukmarca, their equipment repeatedly malfunctioned. Machines shut down, compasses spun, and readings froze as if something beneath the fortress disrupted the magnetic field. Scientists initially blamed natural anomalies in the bedrock, but the disturbances only appeared at specific points, mainly around polygonal joints connected to the deeper voids. During a drone-based magnetometer test between 2008 and 2010, the sensors recorded a sudden 6-second spike in geomagnetic activity directly above a joint aligned with a suspected chamber. Nothing above ground, no wires, metal, or machinery could explain the spike. These hotspots match the layout of underground spaces detected by earlier radar work, suggesting the chambers or materials inside them may be causing the interference. Some archaeologists believe metallic deposits could be responsible, but no excavation has been allowed to confirm this theory. The Peruvian authorities maintain strict control over these areas, stating that unexpected geological risks make deeper research unsafe. Yet several independent researchers argue the pattern is too organized to be natural. As one put it, the mountain reacts like a machine with parts still humming. Fringe theorists take this further, suggesting lost technologies or ancient magnetic installations may lie beneath the site. While this sounds dramatic, the measured field shifts are real. What's unclear is why only certain stones, those connecting upper walls to buried levels, trigger the strongest distortions. These anomalies behave like active nodes, appearing and disappearing over time. Even skeptics admit it's unusual for a stone complex to generate electromagnetic patterns that interfere with modern instruments. The interference has created a scientific dead zone around the lower structures. Without stable readings, mapping the underworld becomes nearly impossible. This leaves one unsettling truth. The deepest layers of Sacsayhuamán remain hidden not only by soil and stone, but by forces we barely understand. And if the magnetic field is reacting to what lies below, the next discovery suggests we may not be dealing with ruins at all, but with a buried system built for a purpose we haven't yet uncovered. The Tired Stone, a fallen block guarding a buried entrance. Just a short walk from Sacsayhuamán, an enormous 200-ton boulder known as La Pedra Canada sits tilted against a carved recess in the hillside. The surface story says it is a stone that gave up during transport, but explorers who examined it closely noticed something far more intriguing. The recess behind it shows the outline of a man-made entrance. The cuts are clean, angled, and flat, exactly the kind of geometry used in known underground passages around the fortress. According to early 20th century accounts, this opening once led directly into a tunnel toward Chincana Grande, the great labyrinth of Cusco. One explorer from 1902 wrote, "The stone blocks the mouth of a road that was never meant for daylight." In 1989, a joint German-Peruvian archaeological team quietly excavated the soil around the stone, hoping to confirm the old descriptions. They uncovered a 4-meter deep cavity, complete with tool marks and what looked like the beginning of a carved stairway. The marks didn't match Inca tools. The lines were too straight, the cuts too wide. But just days after the discovery, the project was abruptly shut down. Officials cited slope instability, but off-record comments suggested the researchers found non-Inca inscriptions, symbols no one wanted to publicize. The team's notes and photographs were never released. Then in 1996, an infrared aerial scan revealed a thermal anomaly directly beneath La Pedra Canada. The heat signature indicated a hollow chamber, cold around the edges, warmer at the center. This type of anomaly is consistent with a sealed underground void. If the cavity exists, it may connect to the same tunnel grid that radar later detected beneath Muyukmarca. Local guides often say the stone didn't fall there. They believe it was moved into place to hide whatever stands behind it. The stone's position is too deliberate to ignore. It rests perfectly in front of the recess, wedged as though someone intended it to function as a doorstop. And if the tunnel was sealed intentionally, it raises a difficult question. Who sealed it, and what did they want hidden? Legends say the tunnels beneath Sacsayhuamán protect sacred chambers. Others claim they guard something dangerous. A Quechua elder once told a researcher, "Some doors were closed for our safety, not our curiosity." But the tired stone is not the only sign of deeper construction. What lies beneath the visible walls may be even older and built by hands we can't identify. The buried megalithic foundation. When small landslides strip soil away from the lower edges of the fortress walls, archaeologists noticed something unsettling. The stones beneath the surface were larger and older than the ones above. In many places, the hidden foundation extends far deeper than any conventional Inca construction. Some stones appear carved directly into the living bedrock, shaping the mountain into a structural frame. Tool marks on these buried blocks differ from known Inca patterns, broader, heavier strokes, as though someone used tools stronger than bronze or stone hammers. One geologist studying the site in the 1990s said, "The lower layers look like they belong to another age entirely." Geological studies reveal something even stranger. Some of the deepest stones were set in place before the upper layers of soil naturally formed over them. This means the builders either dug out the hill to access the bedrock, or the terrain was reshaped after construction. Both scenarios point to an engineering plan far more complex than building a fortress. The Incas, who excelled at working with existing landscapes, rarely reshaped an entire hill. Yet here, the lower tiers suggest an earlier culture that manipulated the mountain from the inside outward. Engineers reviewing the buried foundation often describe it as overbuilt, as though the lower levels were intended to bear immense weight or withstand major earthquakes. These massive hidden stones imply a structure meant for long-term stability, possibly even for supporting something that once sat above but is now gone. The lower construction also aligns with drainage channels that slope inward, directing water under the site instead of away from it. Water control systems this advanced are more aligned with Ollantaytambo and Pumapunku, both believed to sit atop even older foundations. Some theorists propose a two-phase construction. In this idea, the Incas inherited a pre-existing megalithic foundation and adapted it for their own use. This explains why the visible walls follow classic Inca patterns, while the buried stones follow none of their known traditions. The deeper you go, the older and more mysterious everything becomes. If this is true, then Sacsayhuamán is not just an Inca fortress. It is a layer built upon earlier layers, each belonging to a different era, a different purpose, possibly even a different people. As one researcher remarked, "We are standing on top of someone else's blueprint." And if the foundation was built to withstand forces deep inside the mountain, the next discovery shows its designers understood something far more advanced: how to control water, pressure, and the earth itself. Engineering for underground water pressure and seismic control. Hidden beneath the upper stonework lies a network of channels that move water not away from the site, but into it. These sloping channels direct flow deep beneath the hill, guiding it through carved ducts that resemble modern pressure relief systems. This engineering is far more complex than what a simple ceremonial or military site would require. It hints at an underground environment that needed to remain stable, possibly large chambers or storage spaces that would collapse without constant pressure control. One engineer who studied the system said, "Someone treated the inside of this mountain like machinery." Many channels appear carved with precision too refined for basic drainage. The gradients are carefully measured, allowing water to move slowly, preventing buildup and dispersing pressure evenly. This kind of design is common in modern anti-seismic structures, but unheard of in the 15th century. Interestingly, similar underground channels appear at Ollantaytambo and Pumapunku, sites with megalithic stonework that also seems older than the civilizations built atop them. Some of the channels point directly toward the deeper voids detected by radar. This suggests they might have fed water into subterranean reservoirs or regulated pressure in chambers now sealed. If these spaces were inhabited or used for long-term functions, controlling moisture and pressure would have been essential. Geological readings show that some underground pockets maintain stable humidity, an impossible result unless the channels were designed for environmental control. This level of engineering raises the possibility that the underground structure wasn't just hidden, it was meant to operate. Whether as storage, habitation, ceremony, or something unknown, the system reflects an understanding of hydrology and seismic behavior thousands of years ahead of verified Andean engineering. Locals describe Sacsayhuamán as being built from the inside out, a phrase once dismissed as legend. But in light of these discoveries, it seems more literal. As one Quechua guide said, the heart of the place is under the ground, not above it. And if the walls could control water and pressure, what came next reveals they also controlled sound, and maybe the mountain itself. Acoustic phenomena, echoes, resonance, and the breathing stones. Inside the zigzag stone corridors of Sacsayhuamán, something strange happens to sound. When visitors clap or speak, the echo doesn't behave like a normal reflection. Sound seems to jump, twist, and repeat in patterns that feel engineered. A 2005 research team studying resonance at the site discovered that frequencies between 200 to 500 hertz amplified far more strongly inside these corridors than in open areas. Their report stated, the structure responds to sound the way tuned instruments do. This effect becomes even more pronounced at dawn and dusk when locals say certain stones breathe. They describe low, rhythmic pulses emerging from deep within the walls, as if the mountain exhaled. Scientists measured low-frequency vibrations near the Cocha sector in 2018, confirming that these pulses fluctuate in slow waves, behavior consistent with cavities beneath the surface. These acoustics aren't random. The interlocking megaliths form channels that funnel sound along deliberate paths, suggesting that the builders understood how to manipulate resonance. Some researchers believe the acoustic behavior reveals the shape of the underground spaces. The echoes behave differently near spots where ground-penetrating radar detected voids. In other words, the sound patterns may be responding to chambers that nobody has entered in modern times. This is one of the first clues that the underground architecture wasn't just structural. Sound may have been part of its function. Traditional explanations struggled to account for the precision. Many ancient cultures used acoustics in ceremonial spaces, but Sacsayhuamán's resonance is unusually focused and strong. Some stones vibrate slightly during specific pitches, and these vibrations travel horizontally through the wall segments, following the joins with surprising clarity. It's as though the stones were arranged to distribute sound energy through the complex. One researcher said, the walls behave like a single connected body. The mystery deepens when combined with the magnetic anomalies described earlier. Some of the strongest resonance points overlap with locations where compasses fail or where electromagnetic readings spike unexpectedly. That overlap has led a few theorists to suggest that Sacsayhuamán might have been calibrated to interact with natural Earth frequencies, seismic waves or magnetic currents moving through the mountain. Locals have their own way of describing the effect. A Quechua elder told a journalist, "The stones remember every voice." It's a poetic statement, but it captures something real. These walls react physically to sound in ways that no ordinary fortress should. If the stones echo the sky and the earth, the next discovery shows the builders also encoded the heavens themselves into the architecture. Celestial codes, the surface alignments that reveal the buried networks. At first glance, Sacsayhuamán's jagged walls seem chaotic, but when researchers analyzed the site in 2016, they discovered deliberate solar alignments connecting towers, doorways, and stone outcrops. Standing in specific points during the solstices and equinoxes, the sun rises or sets in perfect alignment with structures that seem randomly placed on normal days. Archaeologist Julio Magli described it by saying, "The site behaves like a calendar built in stone. The zigzag design may represent lightning or energy, but the shadows it casts move across the plateau in precise patterns that match seasonal cycles." But here's where the discovery becomes even more compelling. Many of these surface alignments point directly to sealed entrances, buried voids, or locations where radar detected underground chambers. It's as if the builders used the sky to mark what lies below. For example, a tower alignment at sunrise during the December solstice points straight toward a bricked-up opening at the perimeter, long believed to connect to deep tunnels. Several shadow paths lead toward the Muyuk Marca foundations, where electromagnetic interference has blocked further exploration. The idea emerging is that Sacsayhuamán was designed as a dual system, astronomical above, subterranean below. This concept aligns with Andean tradition. The Inca spoke of Pachacuti, a cosmic cycle that resets the world every few thousand years. Some researchers argue the underground chambers may have been used to track long-term environmental or celestial changes. The visible architecture could represent time, while the hidden structure monitored Earth processes. The combination hints at knowledge far beyond simple agricultural timing. Even Spanish chroniclers noticed something unusual. They wrote that the Inca priesthood recorded cosmic information not on paper, but through orientation of stones and observation points. This suggests the builders understood astronomical cycles deeply enough to encode them physically, not just symbolically. The precision of the alignments, especially those connecting to buried sectors, implies intentional design rather than coincidence. Local oral tradition supports this as well. One guide told a researcher, "The sky and the mountains speak to each other here." For centuries, people have believed the plateau serves as a bridge between the earth below and the heavens above, a concept reinforced by modern measurements. If these alignments were used to mark hidden doors or underground chambers, then Sacsayhuamán may be a map written in stone, guiding future generations towards secrets buried beneath the surface. But the most puzzling signs of ancient skill aren't the alignments. They're the isolated carvings scattered across the hillside, as if the builders left blueprints in the open. The isolated cutouts. Across the hills around Sacsayhuamán, far beyond the main walls, explorers find the stone carvings that seem impossible. Thick andesite outcrops are cut with perfect angles, straight channels, smooth basins, and geometric recesses, none of which match Inca construction styles. Some of these features appear in locations difficult to reach, such as steep ridges or vertical faces. One of the most striking examples is the inverted temple, a massive formation with 3 deep cavities carved at exact 90-degree angles. The surfaces are so smooth that one investigator compared them to lathe-cut stone, saying, "No Bronze Age hammer could do this." Researchers studying these carvings note that many bear unique tooling marks, broad, sweeping cuts inconsistent with percussion tools. Instead, they resemble patterns left by abrasive methods or high-friction cutting. This has fueled theories that the builders possess techniques now lost. The isolated nature of the carvings adds to the mystery. They don't connect to known buildings, nor do they form complete structures. They seem like experiments, prototypes, or templates for shaping larger elements found in the buried foundation. One recurring feature is the presence of stone knobs, or bosses, which appear on some surfaces. These match features seen at megalithic sites in ancient Egypt and Turkey, locations also known for unexplained precision. While mainstream archaeology suggests these knobs serve for lifting or alignment, their selective placement hints at a symbolic or technical purpose. At Sacsayhuamán, some knobs point toward underground anomalies detected by radar, as if marking positions for future construction. Another intriguing detail is the presence of long, perfectly straight grooves only a few centimeters wide, running meters across the stone. Some terminate at fissures leading underground. These could be ceremonial channels, but their precision suggests functional uses: water direction, measurement, or acoustic calibration. Their relationship to the buried structure remains unclear, but their accuracy hints at planning rather than decoration. Local oral tradition says these carvings were made by the first builders long before the Inca arrived. One elder told researchers, "Those stones were already old when our ancestors found them." This idea supports the theory of multiple construction phases, where the older, isolated carvings belong to a culture with advanced stone-shaping knowledge, possibly the same culture responsible for the buried megalithic base. And if the isolated cutouts suggest lost technology, the final mystery shows the stones themselves are still behaving in ways we cannot fully explain. Magnetic anomalies, the stones that defy physics. For decades, visitors have reported compasses spinning or freezing near certain megaliths at Sacsayhuamán. Unlike natural magnetic variations, these disturbances occur only at specific stones, often those linked to the deeper structural layers identified by radar. In the 1990s, scientific teams tested the site with precision magnetometers. They found sudden spikes and drops in magnetic readings, some lasting only seconds. One engineer said, "It's like stepping into pockets of invisible energy." These anomalies line up closely with underground voids and buried channels. This connection suggests something beneath the surface may be influencing magnetic behavior, possibly mineral concentrations or metal-rich deposits. However, geologists studying extracted soil samples found no natural explanation strong enough to account for the magnitude of the distortions. The magnetic shifts also fluctuate over time. A stone that triggers a compass disturbance one week may appear normal the next. This pattern has led researchers to believe the anomalies are dynamic, not static. Some theorists propose the stone's internal crystalline structures were altered through heat, sound, or pressure, making them sensitive to geomagnetic forces. If true, the builders may have deliberately tuned certain stones to interact with natural earth currents known as telluric currents. While this idea is controversial, it aligns with evidence from acoustic studies showing that some stones vibrate in response to low-frequency waves. A researcher once remarked, "These stones don't sit, they react." Drone-mounted magnetometer tests in the early 2000s confirmed short-lived spikes above polygonal joints that connect upper and lower construction phases. Because these spikes appear in repeated locations, researchers believe the anomalies are tied to architectural intent, not chance. This fits with theories suggesting the complex was designed as an integrated system connecting acoustics, magnetism, and underground architecture. Local guides interpret the phenomenon differently. One said, "The stones are alive with the mountain's energy." For them, the magnetic anomalies validate stories of Sacsayhuamán being a living structure designed to work with the earth rather than against it. If these readings are ever fully mapped, they may reveal a coded pattern built into the very layout of the fortress, one that describes the unseen structure beneath, and perhaps the purpose it once served. And together these clues, sound, stone, magnetism, and buried chambers, suggest Sacsayhuamán was not just engineered for strength, but for a function we are only beginning to understand. If Sacsayhuamán's walls extend into a secret underworld, then the real story is still buried, waiting to surface. What purpose demanded such a massive hidden structure? Who built it, and why conceal it so perfectly? The clues are there, but the answers remain underground. Stay curious, this mystery is far from over.